Welcome to the Orgasmic Discourses podcast, where it's all about conscious sexuality and supercharged orgasms. My name is Mariah Freya. Welcome everyone to the Orgasmic Discourses podcast. I'm really glad you're listening, and I'm Mariah Freya, and today I'm super excited to be hosting Mangala Holland. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm very excited to be here.
Wonderful. From where are you right now calling?
I'm in Thailand. I'm in my little house in the jungle, and the birds are chirping and the sun is shining. It's awesome.
Awesome. And I think it's the perfect day to talk about a very juicy topic. I invited you into my show because you are an expert in a field which I think is still such a taboo to talk about.
Yeah.
It's the bliss of anal sex. And you are a yoga teacher and a tantra teacher as well, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And just organized a few weeks back a wonderful workshop fully dedicated to this topic, anal sex. Amazing. So that's why I invited you into the show, because I think you have a lot to tell about this. So
yes, I do.
So what is it that fascinates you about anal sex?
Oh, where to begin? It's something that I've over the years I've become more and more fascinated by and in tune with, especially alongside my tantric practice. I found over the years that some lovers really enjoyed it and some were not so interested. But I found for me, when I did explore it with the right partner, and it does have to be the right partner, that it was so beautiful, and it takes me into such a deep space, more than any other form of lovemaking. And there's so much energy there that's generated that you can really use this for your tantric practice. And to just, after I've had a session of anal sex, I am just elated and floating on air for days afterwards. So I've just found it an incredibly profound form of lovemaking.
I think you describe it in a very beautiful way, and anal sex is bigger than ever, actually. Just looking into Tinder, Reddit, YouPorn, it's actually full of it. And even in the National Survey of Sexual Health and Behavior, they found 40 to 45% of young women and men have tried anal sex. And that's actually 10 to 15% more than 20 years ago, which is incredible.
Absolutely.
But in the same time, that profound experience you talked about, many women still fear and are still very cautious about this topic. And how did you overcome those barriers or those things that came up when you thought about trying it out?
This is something that I spent a lot of time in the workshop covering. I spent a lot of the time discussing with the participants what were their fears, what are the common things that come to your mind when you think about anal sex, all the taboos. There are so many fears around this. For women as a receiver, one of the main things is the pain, because sometimes if you've tried it and you've not had a good experience, if you've not been relaxed, and if you've not approached it in the right way, it can be very, very painful. And then this doesn't inspire you to try it again.
Yes.
This is really important. And there's also so many taboos around it being unnatural or immoral as well. And also the issue of hygiene. This is one thing that we're really very, very intimidated by, and this idea that it's perverted. And also there was something that came up that some women felt that it was something that male partners pushed them into without them feeling ready for it, or they were just doing it for their partner's pleasure and not for their own. So these are very important issues to address. And it's interesting, the interesting thing you said about statistics is there's also statistics to show that some people just think of this as gay, that it's only done by the gay community. But in fact, the latest statistics showed that only 50 to 60% of gay men have tried it, and only 30% perform it regularly. So this is interesting.
Wow.
And it seems that heterosexual couples are exploring this a lot more. So
yeah,
it's fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah, I just remembered for me, this was a really crucial thing, what you just said before, that if men push you into this, like it might end up in a bad way, but if you are personally ready for it, it will be quite beautiful, with some perseverance and some discipline to continue again and again. And I remember for me personally, I had this experience in a yoni mask actually helped me to sort of, connect with my anal organ and sort of, like sort of see it as a part of me, not as something separate. And that's often the case because it's something unhygienic and like, I don't want to look there sort of thing. So, but once she kind of pushed me a little bit into this but very, very gently, obviously, I became sort of more open to look there and look what's there and look also what thoughts I have regarding this organ. And so eventually I tried it and it was amazing. I mean, like, obviously there were challenges like relaxing and the pain when you don't relax. Suddenly the muscle like cramps up and there's lots of tension. And I really think this is the first step of deciding consciously, yes, I want to do this. And from there, it's going to be much easier.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting as well because it also depends so much on the chemistry you have with your partner. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to relax. There has to be a certain level of trust and intimacy with your partner to allow it to happen. Because as you say about the muscles tensing up, there's two sets of these sphincter muscles in our anus. And the outer ones are controlled by ourselves. We can consciously contract and release them. But the internal ones, they're controlled by the autonomous nervous system. So your body will just clamp up and you cannot physically choose to relax that. You have to be in a very deep space of relaxation for it to happen. So this is amazing.
That's something I didn't know. Wow. So would you normally, like when you had your first experience, did you had sex beforehand or how did you get relaxed?
To be honest, the very first time I tried this was way before I was into yoga. And it was when I was still in my nightclubbing days and I was really high on cocaine and I was very relaxed. And then anytime a partner tried it after that, I just couldn't do it. I was like, oh, that's something I can only do when I'm high. And then the more I explored yoga and tantra and explored deeper physical and energetic connections with my partners, then it became something I wanted to explore. And then again, it was only a certain type of partner that was suitable, you know. Sometimes I have lovers that are just not interested, and then other lovers want to do it all the time. So it varies very much.
So you would say the person sort of, it has to be some kind of special person that triggers you lust on that anal stimulation.
That is important, and that can even be a one-night stand. It doesn't mean you've got to be with a committed partner for 2 years to explore it, but there's something about the chemistry between you as a couple. That's also interesting. I'll just share this beautiful quote with you from a lady called Nina Hartley. She's done some porn and education work on anal sex, and she says that of all the parts of your body, nothing knows a liar like your anus. So if your mind is saying yes, 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 and your heart is saying no, 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 your anus will always listen to your heart. I think this is beautiful because how many times have we made love in a normal way, vaginal intercourse, when we weren't really in the mood or we weren't open, we weren't fully prepared, but we kind of went along with it anyway, either pushing ourselves or doing it to please a partner.
I believe it actually, there's also a sign sometimes with, if your pussy, for example, is not ready yet and you're not wet enough, let's say, and then you just use some lube, and that's also a little bit cheating as well, actually, because then you're not like, your body's also not ready yet and lubed up naturally, so you simply go for the lube and then that's it. But that's interesting with the anal one. Wow. I like that. Beautiful.
Mm.
So, you were going to say something else? Not sure.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say as well, just on that, and you say about lube, is that the anus isn't self-lubricating like the vagina is. So
Yes,
you have to use lots of lube to make it pleasant.
lots of lube,
Lots of lube. But this also, again, you just have to really listen to your body and be in tune and make sure your partner's in tune with you. So I always recommend, as you were asking about starting with normal lovemaking, for me, this is key. I need to be fully relaxed, fully open, been making love for a while, preferably had a few orgasms. So I'm really open and juicy and receptive. And then this is when I want my partner to take me here and take me deeper.
All right. Yeah, that's the same case for me, actually. Simply having warmed up session and sort of already feeling comfortable with being naked and being sort of in a space of, full relaxation, full ecstasy almost.
Absolutely. And I think
and
this
then,
is something where
and then you can
some of the
go there slowly and gently.
Yeah. And this is something with the porn videos, sometimes even the educational ones, because they're trying to educate people in anal sex. What they show is people just going straight into it. For most couples, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yes. Yeah.
To really go into this, you need to have a certain level of surrender to your partner, this level of openness. And you can't just plug that in or flip a switch. It has to come from this connection that you have. So this is really important.
Yeah. For me, this is actually one of the ultimate surrender tasks, or sort of, it's like your last diploma in surrendering, right? Like for me,
that's given me you've given me goosebumps, really, because this is, I have in my workshop I talk about this is the ultimate act of sexual surrender. It's the intimacy and love and communication. You can't go there unless you're really in this. One thing I think that's so beautiful to bring it into the tantric practice is because when we explore these archetypes of the divine masculine and divine feminine, we look at Shiva and Shakti and how the man is in his strongest vertical. He needs to be extremely present, yet really in tune with your needs and your energy. And you are in your most receptive being that you could possibly be when you're being penetrated in this way. This is you in your most receptive. And it's also where you hold your most energy. The energy here is so strong that it can be really overwhelming at times. So this is like the ultimate polarity between men and women in some ways.
Yeah, that was actually my next question, like anal sex from a tantric perspective, and you just laid it out really beautifully, like the energy flow. So obviously no one really knows where the Kundalini Shakti, the tantric seed of feminine energy sits, but like my feeling, it really sits somewhere there. And the anal sex can definitely stimulate that in a way that it's just flowing upwards towards the higher chakras, towards the higher energy wheels.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, and this is really true. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. What I would say on this is, yes, from my own experience, and I also have interviewed a lot of women on this, lots of different tantric practitioners at various different points on their path, just to see how everyone else is experiencing it. And it is so true. Like, we hold all this massive potential energy, and it sits there as potential. And it sits in the root chakra. This is where it is. And this is in the area of the perineum and the anus. And for me, when I make love in this way, I instantly get this rush of energy that just flushes upwards. And it's stronger than any other energy that I've ever experienced. And as it goes up, as it's going higher and higher, it's altering your state of consciousness. So it takes you into these higher altered states. If you can sit in awareness, or even better still, meditation after lovemaking with this, it is incredibly beautiful, and you can really experience some very profound shifts in your emotions and your energy.
Yeah, which obviously shows a lot of healing aspects as well, right, in anal sex.
Yeah, and this is if it's something you're not used to, then you can find a lot of emotions being released here. All kinds of things, from anger, pain, sadness, joy, everything coming up. Many women have said to me that if they can get into orgasm through anal orgasm, it's a much more loud, more primal, it's something much more raw that is coming out. And they're saying, where is this voice coming from? This doesn't sound like me. So this is, there's so much energy there.
It's like our old cave woman coming out of us or something, like the real wisdom woman in us or something. Yeah, very raw.
And for your male partner, this can be an incredible turn on for him to see you in this.
And also being able to hold that is probably much more tricky as well.
Absolutely. Sometimes I've experienced this with very experienced tantric men who are very good at holding their energy, and yet when they penetrate you in the anus, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of energy here. So, and this is important that we don't just leave it all to the men to do the work, that we also do whatever techniques we can to focus on raising our own energy up as well. Don't just rely on the energy just naturally flowing up, but also help your partner with this. Run your fingers along his spine so his energy moves up. Press in the middle of his forehead where his third eye is. Just bring in this energy upwards all the time. You can really help your partner with this.
I guess that also depends on which position you're right now in. If it's doggy style, it's going to be a bit more tricky. You have to be a super bendy yogini to do that. Coming again back a little bit about that healing aspect on also personality. I know that Swami sometimes speaks of this in Agama Yoga, our Swami. So there's this thing when women get sort of very tight ass in their characteristic or their personality. So having anal sex makes you actually less anal, right? Like there's actually a German expression for that, which means having a stick up your ass.
Yes, we have that in English as well.
All right. Great. So this is exactly what you get rid of that stick after anal sex. Like you're simply more relaxed, right?
Absolutely. I remember the first time I did this properly with a tantric lover, I was floating on air for days afterwards. And I know that some teachers will say there's certain people have a more tendency towards this kind of lovemaking than others. If you're a earth sign astrologically, so a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn woman, and you've got lots of vitality and probably maybe even physically you've got bigger hips and bigger thighs, then you're going to have a lot of energy that's stuck there. And also Scorpio women. I'm a Scorpio, and it's a bit of a running joke. Like if you say you're a Scorpio to a tantric man, they're like, okay. I know what you like. But it's not true with every woman, so we have to look at this. But for sure, I find that even just the perineum is a really erogenous zone for me. Now, some women, if they touch that, they just won't even feel anything, or it's just not for them. So some women find that, you won't want it every day. You won't want to make love this way every day. Some people find once a month is nice. Some like twice a month. Other women, it's like maybe once or twice a year. There's a huge spectrum there. So it's really explore for yourself and find out what you need. But like, I'm so in touch with my energy now that I kind of feel when I need it. And it's me that normally will initiate or guide it, because I start to feel there's this energy building there and I need to move this.
Yes, that's the same for me. Like, I just know in a lovemaking session, wow, now is the right time. Like, it's just like your body yearns for it suddenly. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is almost a hunger for it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, because this is, if you can say this to your man, say, right now, take me there. It's just such an incredible turn on for him if he's open to this.
Of course. He's been waiting the whole year for it.
Totally. Yeah. And for you to be so in your feminine power that you can ask for that and receive it, it's beautiful. What an amazing thing that you can build this intimacy in a relationship for this.
Yeah. I think let's talk a little bit more about the most important steps to take to have a successful anal sex session. I'm pretty sure you have some in mind. What's important, maybe beforehand, during, afterwards, the whole thing.
Yeah. This is really important, getting it right. And sometimes I've spoken to couples and I've had a lot of feedback from my workshops with a lot of people now practicing, and they're coming back to me and telling me how much better it's gone for them now.
Great.
One very dear friend of mine, there was one very dear friend of mine that her partner, even if he just touched the entrance to her anus, she would just burst out crying. It was just so much emotion and energy stored there. It was too much for her. Yeah. And she confided in me this week that she's had anal sex twice this week. She's like, oh, I'm so pleased that I've been able to explore this now. So it's really important.
Beautiful.
So important to get it right. And so much of this is about warming up. The anus, it's not like the vagina. As I say, we've got these muscles and it needs lots of lubrication, but also the anal canal, it kind of goes forward towards the body and then back. So there's a natural curve in the anal canal and the rectum. So you can't just shove it in because this is why it can really hurt. So you do need this preparation. As many people are so concerned about the hygiene, I always think of this as the first step. So take a nice bath and with bubbles and relax yourself, and also just cleaning around your anus with your finger if it makes you feel more comfortable, because a lot of women, what holds you back is the thought of there being poop there. So this is, something you can do. Some people like to have an enema beforehand to really make sure that you're confident then, because if you've had a clear out there, then there's not going to be any dirt there.
True.
If you do that, I recommend do it at least an hour before and just use warm water only. This is okay, but it's really, I found it's not so necessary. This is really important. But then when it actually comes to the lovemaking itself, as I say, we've already talked about being relaxed and open. One thing that your lover can do is to massage your butt cheeks and your tailbone. This is really, for me, it's very sexy having my tailbone massaged, and it brings a lot of awareness there. Your lover can touch this area during normal sex to bring awareness there and to see what pleasure you hold there. And begin by gently massaging around the hole, or allow your lover to kiss you and lick you in this area. It can be very pleasurable and can really help you to relax. When you actually do start, I always recommend, again, using lots of lubrication, and you should start reinserting with just one finger, and very, very gently and at your own pace, and only going up to the knuckle, so the first knuckle bone, and then just putting this finger in and then just leave it and wait and not move and let you relax around it. And once he feels you relax, and you can breathe into this as well, use the breath to help you. And then he can gently move his finger up and down, side to side, so you start to feel what it's like, and your muscles here start to slowly relax. And keep communicating with each other, and only when you feel ready, invite him to go deeper and insert his whole finger and explore this some more. And when you really feel ready, then he can put more lubrication and insert 2 fingers so you can feel how much you can take. Now, for some women, this can be enough, and many women, it might take them a few weeks, even months to even get to this point. You just really have to go at your own pace.
Yeah, I remember from me this imagination that he can feel my ass with his fingers was very provoking. And so there are actually some like finger condoms, which kind of gave me sort of the thought that he won't feel as much, I guess, or that he won't hit my shit, literally. And like it was just giving me some safetyness to just have this, get rid of this thought and know, okay, he's kind of protected from it and that's fine. But eventually you get over it anyways, but like it can help in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. And also I know some people who use gloves, just latex gloves. These can, in the beginning, because a lot of this is mental, to be able to relax and go into this. So this can be really helpful. Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of feeling there. And at the beginning, you might not even know if it's pleasure, if it's pain. It's just this intense, like, whoa. So really, when you're ready to receive his penis, his lingam, just really make sure that you go slow. Make sure that you're breathing and just start with the tip. Just if you can enter the tip and just breathe, allow him to just allow yourself to even just be static and see how you go. Also make sure that he also includes your breasts, your yoni, you know, touch the other areas. You need to be really highly turned on, and massaging your nipples, all this kind of thing really helps.
Yeah. I sometimes even use an extra dildo as well.
Yeah, or
just to just sort of have an extra vaginal stimulation.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. Good job you mentioned this. Is if you can experiment with a butt plug, can sometimes be a good way to get into this if you're not ready to receive.
True. Yeah. And it's much more easier in your mind to kind of hold a plastic thingy instead of, your lover's penis or her fingers. Yeah.
A big penis, you know, because some men can be large and it can be very intimidating. So starting with a small butt plug and working your way up to bigger ones or to a penis is a very nice, it can be very, very useful as well. And it depends what position you're in. And if you're in classic missionary position, this is nice in the beginning because you've got eye contact.
Yes.
And this way then you feel more connected to your partner and he can see your responses. So this can be very beneficial as well. And I always recommend to couples, start slowly. You know, if you relax and open, then the pounding can come later if that's what you're both into. But go really slow to begin with until you're well warmed up and you're starting to really enjoy the sensations.
Mm-hmm. Would you recommend like a solo anal preparation? So like...
Yeah, this can be really, really helpful because if you know your body, then you know what you like and you know what pleasure you
Definitely.
like and you know what you want. So always, this allows you to be more in control of your whole sexuality. I really firmly believe all women should be, and men should be, exploring themselves in every way possible because it's only when you really know what you want that you can expect it from your partner. So
Exactly. And
it's nice to, you know, just with normal masturbation, I always recommend make it a special thing. Have a date night with yourself, light candles, incense, set the mood, make yourself feel special and love yourself. This is a really important aspect to it, is this self-love. So.
Yeah, I'm coaching a lot on this as well nowadays with conscious masturbation, really setting the mood and the space for it, and so important. Yeah. When it comes to the receiver, are there some things to be aware of? I mean, we already said a few things like using your breath when you feel that you tense up, sort of warming up, obviously, being really horny and then get into it. Starting maybe with fingers and then gently working your way up. Is there anything else to what you would say for anyone who's receiving anal sex?
Yeah, I would really recommend couples. This is something that's common in the BDSM community, where it's much more, you know, bondage and this kind of thing. Have a safe word, a word that you would not normally say in sex. So that if you use this word, your partner knows to stop straight away.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, because then you both know that it's not going to go too far. And then this will allow you to have this trust in your partner and to know it's going to stop whenever you need it to. And really just, keep communicating with your partner at all times. Make sure you're talking to each other. Make sure if you're enjoying it, make sure you tell him. Just allow him to know exactly where you're at, and then this will allow you both to get the best experience from it.
Yeah. And I guess also be open for different positions, because I personally found that some positions work for me and some totally don't. So like, for example, for me, it's much easier to sit on top, even though it's a more controlling position. But because I already have sort of the control, I can gently insert and gently like penetrate myself with it. So
yeah. Absolutely. And this is very beautiful, and it allows you to, and again, then you can keep this eye contact, and it means that you can control the whole pace a bit more. So this is really lovely, and it's an amazing visual stimulation for him as well to see you going into this. So yeah.
Of course. And for the guys, do you think there's something important they should know when they approach the anal sex topic to their partner?
And if you're asking as well, how does this feel? You know, really keep this communication, and not just during the lovemaking, but afterwards, when you're lying in bed together and you're close, connected, you're cuddling, this is a really good time to discuss between you what worked, what would you like to try differently next time. Were there any areas where you started to feel you were closing down? What would you want to have differently next time? And if you do this in the afterglow and you do it in a beautiful, soft, connected way, then you'll remember it for next time, and then you can build on it the next time. So I think this is really important.
Yeah. I love to have like check-ins afterwards and sort of, just feel into the space of my partner. And so this is a really lovely opportunity afterwards, I think. Yeah. So great. I think we had a lot of information today on this beautiful, blissful anal sex topic. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. So a few more questions on you, because you're right now in Thailand still working as a yoga teacher, I guess. And
yeah.
So I would love to know some more about your ideas and visions. What are your plans for this year? Any new workshops coming up?
Yeah, I'm in the process of, the last workshop I did was so successful.
Great.
It just really took off and it completely exceeded all my expectations. And I ended up with 40 people in the workshop. It was amazing. And it was an even mixture of men and women. So it was just really beautiful. And it's caused such a buzz. So I'm in the process of just scheduling another one, which will be happening in the next month or so. I'm doing a lot of work with women individually. I also give tantric massages as well. For me, the most exciting thing right now is pulling this all together. And so I'm launching my website very soon, which is mysticsex.com.
Nice.
This is coming in the next month, hopefully. So we're not live just yet. But if anyone's interested to follow my antics and my progress, hop on over to my Facebook page, which is Mangala Tantrika. And you can find me there. So I'll be posting all kinds of things. And I've ended up with this anal sex is just one aspect of my teaching. I offer teachings also on conscious masturbation, as you said, and also helping what women can do on the tantric path to support their male partners and how they can use their energy to support their men. I'm also going to be within our Orgasm school. I'm going to be working with Rafa, who I know you've had on your podcast before.
Yes. I had him in this show as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So we will be doing a couple of things for Agama coming up in the next couple of months on open relationships. So I'm really excited to be co-hosting this with him. There's loads of things happening. So pulling it all together on the website is going to be amazing. And I also offer one-to-one coaching on Skype, particularly this anal sex. It's just, there's so much discussion and need for it, and people are just contacting me from all over the world wanting advice and tips and stuff, so I'm more than happy to share.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds amazing. I wish you the best of luck and a lot of abundant success on this, and the world needs more of this, definitely.
Absolutely. And I see this very much reflected with the work you're doing. It's what we're all trying to help and inspire each other to do is to help everybody just become happy and free and connected to their sexuality, to this pure essence, this pure power that resides within you, and to use it as a tool to better your life and to release any guilt or shame around this. And, Yeah, for me to stand up in front of 40 people and say, I love to be fucked in the ass is very liberating. And it's...
Exactly. This is a very crucial one.
But by doing this, we allow other people the space to do this as well. And this is how we can slowly change our communities and our culture by doing this.
It's so courageous. Oh my God. It's amazing.
I'm amazed that this is the path I've ended up in, but this is really what I'm being called to do. So.
Wonderful. I can see there's lots of passion and I feel that you take this topic in a very gentle and a very, unshameful, very normal way, as it should be. Something that is just feeling blissful and beautiful.
Yeah,
so
it should be,
thanks for that.
Sure, it should be sweet, light and feminine because that's who we are as our beings, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So thank you very much. And also to all my listeners out there, thanks for listening to the show. I hope you learned a lot and I'm pretty sure you did. this was amazing.
Oh,
and
thank you so much for having me.
Have a lovely day, everyone. Welcome, Mangala.
Thank you so much.